Welcome to a MainelyDIY.com video.
Okay, welcome back. We're going to work on row 3, and every row after this will pretty much be the same thing. I'll give you a little bit of anatomy lesson on this. See how we've got a corner, we've got 2 clusters separated by 3 chains, and here we've got the straight section where there's only one chain. And so when I get ready to start this row, I'm going to start not where I joined, and preferably not in a corner, but in one of these straight edge sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again, I'll make a slip knot. Get the yarn on my hook. Okay. And so I'm going to start on a straight edge, so I'm going to start there, but I need to wrap the working end of my yarn around my hook. I'll go down in the hole. I'll pull my yarn to the back side, pull the yarn up with my hook. I have 3 on my hook. I'm going to wrap, go through 2, wrap, and go through 2. This tail, I'm just going to bury it under this next stitch. It's only going to be buried under 1, but that's okay. So I'm wrapping, going into the hole, wrapping, and pull it up through, wrapping, and going through 2. Okay. And I'm only going to do two right now, and when I get around, I'll do the 3rd one that belongs in there. But not to the corner yet. So to get over there, I'm going to just chain 1, and then I'll be at the corner. And every corner is going to have this cluster of two clusters of 3 double crochets with a 3 chain space in between them. So I'm going to get that tail out of my way, and I'm going to wrap my yarn around, go into the corner, pull the yarn up through. I've got 3 on my hook, wrapping, going through 2, wrap, and go through 2. So I need 2 more double crochets for this set. That's 1. There's the second one. And see how I'm in the corner. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and do another cluster or another set of 3 double crochets right in that same corner hole. Okay, so I'm not doing a corner piece, so I just need to chain 1 to get to the next place. Come into that next hole and just do my double crochets in there. So I'm on a straight piece, so I only need 1 set of double crochets in there, and I'm just going to trim off this little extra fuzz there. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1 to get over to the corner because I'm not in the corner yet, and I'm going to do a set of 3 double crochets in the corner, and I'm just going to crochet right over this tail from my previous row. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm in the corner, so I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and do another cluster or another set of 3 double crochets in that corner. And there's my 3rd one of the set. So see how the corner has 2 sets in a chain? The straight piece just has 1, and it's separated by 1 chain, and see this corner has 2 sets of 3 double crochets separated by 3 chains. So I'm on the straight section again, so I just chain 1 to get over there, and I'm going to do a set of 3. Okay, I'm coming to the next corner, but I'm not there yet, so I only chain 1, wrap my yarn around, and then I'm going to do 2 sets of double crochets separated by 3 chains. So there's, there's 1, this is 2, 3, and okay, so I'm on the corner. I've done 1 cluster of 3 double crochets. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to continue and do my next cluster of, or next set of 3 double crochets, however you want to think of that as. So I'm going to be on a straight stretch here, so I'm going to chain 1 and do a set of 3 double crochets in this middle hole here. So I'm wrapping, going through the hole, picking up my yarn, wrapping, go through 2, wrap and go through 2. And I need 2 more, so I wrap, go down through the hole, pick up my yarn, wrap, go through 2, wrap and go through the last 2. So I put my yarn down, wrap it around, go down through the hole, pick it up, wrap it and go through 2, wrap it and go through 2. So to get to the next corner, I chain 1, and then I'm going to do another double crochet. Sorry. And I call this wrapping around, but this is also termed as yarn over, so that's another term that's sometimes used. It's abbreviated as YO in a lot of instructions, so that's just another little tip for you. So so I finished my set, so I'm in that corner, so I need to chain 1, 2, 3. So let's try this as yarn over, go into the hole, yarn over, bring it up through the hole, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. Just another way of saying what I normally term it as: wrap the yarn around the hook, go down in the hole, pick up the yarn from the back side of the hole, wrap, go through 2, wrap and go through 2. And we need to do the third one in the set, so we'll complete that. Okay, and we're almost to the place at the beginning, so we're going to chain 1, wrap our yarn around the hook, go down in that hole to complete. What we're doing is we're trying to complete this set, because right now we have 2 double crochets, so we want to complete it with our 3rd double crochet. So I just did a slip stitch and didn't tell you how I did that, so I'm going to take it out. So I did my double crochet, so I'm going into the top of that first double crochet, sliding it under what looks like the chain, wrapping my yarn around, pulling it through, and pulling it all the way through, and then I'm going to chain 1, snip my yarn, and pull it up towards me. So I have my next row completed, so I'm going to weave that in just a little bit here. So on my next round, I am going to start with my another color, and it doesn't have to be just 2 color, it could be as many colors as you want. Just going to show you this just to get you started, because pretty much all the subsequent rows are just like this 3rd row, where these are straight sections, so you only do 1 chain between them, and in the corners you do the 3 chain. So I'm going to start, so I've rotated my square so that I'm not starting on the same straight edge that I started last time. I like to rotate that because it just makes things stronger. So I am making a slip knot here and putting it on my hook. And I'm just going to do a little bit so you can see how that goes. So I'm wrapping my yarn around the hook. I'm going to come to this hole here. That's just kind of my chosen hole in this case. And I'm going to wrap my yarn around, pull it up through, and I'm just going to make that first double crochet. I'm kind of tucking my tail underneath the yarn for this little bit, and I'll go back later and sew the rest of it in. Just work it in with a yarn needle, but I work over my tails a lot just because it gives them a start of working it in, and I don't have as many. So I did a set of 3, and I really should have only done a set of 2. So I pulled that one out because I want to have one to join it, because I don't like to join on a chain either, because that's another weak spot. So we're trying to make it as strong as possible. It will last a long time if you do that, and so that's nice. So I just chained 1 to get to this next cluster, and then I have to chain 1 to get to my corner, and then I can do my first set of 3 double crochets. There's my first set, and then I'm chaining 3, and looks like I've got something caught up in my yarn here, but I'll just get that out of the way. And I'll go 1, 2, 3. So I am just going to continue on in this manner, and what I did there was I cut off my yarn because it was tangled up in something that I didn't want. I didn't want to bother to take the time to deal with it. So that will give me the opportunity to show you how I can connect another piece of yarn on. You know, maybe my yarn broke, or I ran out of whatever. Because I ran out of yarn here, I need to connect a new piece. So I am just going to go ahead and wrap that around. I'm going to leave quite a tail there because I'm going to need to sew that in. So I'm probably going to leave, probably, let's see, maybe that much. And so I'm wrapping my yarn around the hook with my new piece of yarn and completing my double crochet just like I normally would. And then I'm going to go over to the next hole, and I don't want to take these tails and lay them over there because then it's going to show on the top of that. So I'm just going to leave them behind now because I'm not working in the same color. And I'm going to continue along just like I did the 3rd row. When I'm on that straight stretch, you just need 1 set of 3 double crochets with a chain separating them, and then when you go to hit a corner, you just chain 1 to get to the corner. But when you're in the corner, you need to do 2 sets of 3 double crochets separated by 3 chains. So I'm just going to pull my yarn out a little bit, turn it over to the back side, and you really want to weave this long tail in particularly well, because if we just wrapped it around to get started on the next one, so if we don't do a good job weaving that in, that's going to be a weak point and it may come out. So just bear with me while I do that. So I'm just moving from right to left, and then I'll do a back stitch, coming back to the right, and then before I move left, and I'm just going to continue to work that in from the back side with my yarn needle. That one's pretty important to work in. Because it was a loose end and we didn't do a slip knot to get it started, so as I say, that one's a pretty important one to work in. So it's always a good idea. I like to work in my ends before I say that, but I didn't do it. Before I get too big, because, or even if I'm doing a pile of squares, because it can get quite tedious and boring to to sit there and work them all in. But maybe that's a good activity for you while you watch TV or watch one of my other YouTubes. So, you know, that's an option too. So I'm going to stop for today. And when I come back, I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to finish this round off camera. And then when I come back on my next video, I'm going to show you how, let's say I want to do another row of red instead of breaking off and starting anew. So I will do that off camera, and I will be back to show you how to do that. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.